about the Messi thing?
Anything else on the Messi front, Chris, before we move on?
No, I'm done. I'm
falling out. I told you, I never want to bring this guy's name up again.
I don't know, man. This Messi thing is just a freaking mess. What a disaster.
I don't want to hear this name ever again until it's official. But they got me back.
No question about it. I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 119 of the Battered Herons podcast. I am your host, Daniel Granada, and alongside me, as always, is Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
It's a happy day.
It is.
But it's a sad day. It's a sad day.
There's nothing sad about it. There's nothing sad about it.
Baby.
No, it's Christmas season. We 2 days from Christmas Eve, 3 days from Christmas Day. It's a messy Christmas. All things are good in the world of La Familia. We got our official signing. Chris called me and he said, "Hey, it's official tissue." I had no idea what he's talking about. Then he broke it to me. Luis Suarez was official. And we told you guys a week or two ago, when it becomes official, we have a special guest. Inter Miami's favorite villain, right? La Familia's favorite villain, Mr. Daniel Solana. I've never met a bigger Luis Suarez fan. I've been going back and forth with him about Luis Suarez joining the team because I wasn't necessarily a fan of it. But we'll talk about that, I guess, during this episode now because I'm all in. He's one of us now. So he's one of us. I'm all in. And we're going to get into all of that. So without further ado, let's welcome in the bad guy, Mr. Daniel Solana. What's going on, my guy?
What's up, boys? Everything good, man. I cannot be happier today. Literally, Christmas came 3 days early for me, boys. Like, I've never gotten to see my favorite player play live, and now I'm going to get a chance to see him play every single week, at least for a year.
Yeah.
I could not have had a better 2023 Christmas.
Deegan, good morning. Where the hell are you from that you're saying good morning? It is 10 o'clock right now where we're at here in Miami. Deegan, thank you for joining us wherever you are. 10 p.m. Well, it's a.m. wherever he's at because he said good morning. So thank you for joining us that early. And a lot to get to, man.
Yes.
Look at this. Daniel crying behind his mask. No. Look, and and look, today's episode, we're gonna get into why I didn't want him. I'm all in now because he's one of us. Well, we'll talk about all that. But I guess we can go in order. Worst kept secret in football, I think. Everybody was expecting it since the summertime. We thought that it would happen at some point. Solana, I know that you posted something that he had been here since the weekend, and then that got a lot of traction. A lot of people started retweeting that. Then everybody started reporting it. Next thing I know today, it's official tissue. He's one of us. But what caught me off guard was that he started posting pictures with the number 9. Now, I'll start with Chris because Chris has heard about it. Chris, how are you feeling that he's just got in and he got that number 9 already? Give me that, Campapi. Give it to me.
Well, let me tell you, I think that's kind of grimy that they did that, but I completely get it. I mean, the buildup was there, right? And Campana, I mean, what, didn't he take the 9 from Higuain?
Yeah, but that's
I think if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So, I mean, look, Campana, like everybody loves him. I love him. I'm rocking the Battered Heron shirt right here, the Leo Campapi. Mm-hmm. I really hope it works out, man. This thing with Luis Suarez, like I'm looking forward to it because like you can definitely tell that he's extremely capable. He's like doing very well, even with these shattered knees that everybody's talking about. But I mean, I want Campapi to flourish though, bro. I want him to get some time. I want him to get some balls in the back of the net.
He will.
Don't worry, Chris. He will. If there's one thing that I've learned about Suarez is that not only is he going to make an impact on the field with this team, but he's going to make a huge impact off the field, especially with the younger guys. So when he spent his time at Nacional, when he was there for that one semester right before the 2022 World Cup, he spent a lot of time mentoring the youngsters. There was a forward by the name of Brian Ocampo, who was actually a winger. He was having extreme, like, kind of psychological problems. Suarez took him under his wing. And after the 6 months with Suarez, the guy was sold to Cádiz, and he was one of the best players on Cádiz until he tore his ACL last year, on the verge of making the national team. So I'm going to tell you that if Campapi sticks around, And I hope he does because, look, my wife is Ecuadorian, big Barcelona Sporting Club fan. I love Campana. I was sitting behind Campana's family one night. Yeah, Joker, I'm here, baby. Suarez is here. That means I'm here. You're gonna have to deal with
Let
it.
it soak
And if
in,
you don't
baby.
like it, I'm gonna start biting people, bro. I'm gonna start biting people. But I'm gonna tell you, man, Suarez is gonna be just as good an impact off the field as he is on. You guys will see it. I promise you, Campana will flourish with Suarez next to him. He will.
Well,
I promise you.
We asked you on obviously because you're a Suarez, stan, and because
And a
you
huge
kept-
Inter Miami fan as well.
but he's a huge Luis Suarez stan. So, but what I want to know is, I mean, I started finding out a lot more about this past season at Gremio, right, as we got closer to him coming over to Inter Miami. But how has he been looking since he left Europe? Because once you leave Europe, you assume that your career is on a downward trajectory. So I want you to break down to me what you've noticed from Luis Suarez, your boy, once he left Atletico Madrid. I think was his last stop over there in Europe.
That's right. That's right. But let's talk about Atletico Madrid really quick because I don't want to skip too far. Remember,
Okay,
he
go
left
for it.
Barcelona extremely controversially, right? He left Barcelona controversially. Messi was, upset that his boy left. And where did he go? None other than the Madrid rivals, Atletico de Madrid. And what did he do in his first season there? He took them to win La Liga. He won La Liga for them. I don't know if you remember, but he had an unbelievable season where he scored a bunch of goals, a great assist. Again, he has that. Then he got third place with them the next year. And then, again, like you said, he left Europe and he went to go play in Nacional. Now, why did he go play in Nacional? He had many different offers in Europe, some from the MLS. But why did he go to Nacional? He wanted to, live in Uruguay, be close to the national team, and be 100% sure that he was going to be able to play and get ready for the World Cup. And that's basically what he did. He went over there, and what did he do? He won the championship with Nacional. Look, the Uruguayan league is not better than the MLS. I'm going to be the first one to tell you, yes, you can put that, you can cut it up and put it out there. Solana said the Uruguayan league is not better than the MLS. I've changed my mind. But what Suarez did over there, like I said, is unbelievable. He just made the country go absolutely nuts. One player made 3.5 million people go nuts just by coming back to his home country and playing with the team that he grew up with. I mean, that's unbelievable. And then,
that's a
Brazil
cool story.
This year,
but before you jump to Brazil, as far as helping Nacional win the title, Nacional, my understanding, is one of the top teams in Uruguay. So there's a chance that they would win it without him. Was he that much of an impact? Was he starting every game? I think that's my.
Did he
my
make that
question.
big of a difference?
Oh, right. He did. Oh, he did. So he started 13 games for Nacional that season. He played over 1,000 minutes. He had 6 goals, 3 assists, 2 yellow cards. He scored. I don't know if
how many people did he bite while he was over there?
0. And that is the key part. I want to make sure that everybody understands that he has not bit anybody since he bit Chiellini. Look, again, a lot of people do not understand that. In soccer, if you've played at very high levels, things get crazy.
People bite each other. Don't say people bite each other.
People might not bite each other, but hey, I played college, I played semi-pro. I've knocked some people in the nuts in a corner. I've grabbed some people in the butt in a corner, maybe stick your finger up the guy's butt. It happens, man. And what's the reaction? What's the reaction if you do that? The guy's gonna want to stick you in the face. Maybe that's what Chiellini probably sets him into Suarez. Again, I'm not saying that what he did is correct, and I'm not supporting it. Biting is incorrect. Fighting is incorrect.
We'll keep the fighting
is incorrect.
We're going to get into that in a little bit. So, Uruguay, you said he had an impact. They won the championship, then went to Brazil. Break down the Brazil stay for us.
Dude, Brazil, unbelievable, man. I mean, he played 53 total games for Grêmio, a team that, if you guys don't remember, was in the B division in Brazil last year. So they now are in the A division. He played 8 games for the Campeonato Gaúcho, where he had 5 goals and 3 assists. Pretty good, huh? Then in the Serie A, he played 33 games where he had 17 goals and 11 assists. Actually one of only 4 players to record double-figure goals, double-figure assists in the history of the Brazilian Cup. And I believe there's only a couple other players who have done that. Ronaldinho is one of them, and a couple other players. So some big shoes there to be in there. And then the Copa do Brasil, he played 8 games, had 2 goals, 3 assists. Overall, he had 53 games played, 26 goals, 17 assists, 4,644 minutes, a goal or assist every 180 minutes. So basically a goal or assist every 2 games. If you guys can remember, how many goals did Campapi, Borgelin, Joseph Martinez, all of our 9s that we had combined this year, how many did they score? Did they even come close to 26?
I'm probably not. Probably not.
And you know what the most fascinating part about Luis Suarez's stats are is that he has a lot of assists as a 9. So
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
lends credence to what it is that you're saying, that
He's
you could
unselfish.
place another striker with him. And I think that kind of, and we'll probably get into it pretty soon, but I
Yeah.
think that might lend into saying him and Mbappe are going to see some time together.
Well, we'll definitely get into that. Now, just to put a bow on the Brazil stay, he won Player of the Year.
He did.
He was, when I look back at the game logs for this past season, he was starting a lot of the games. So I want to know, there was a lot of talk about him possibly retiring because of his knees, but then he's putting in these 80, 90-minute performances.
Yeah.
What have you heard about his knees? Because honestly, when people criticize the signing, they criticize 1, the age, and 2, the knees. What do you have to say about the age and the knees?
Look, man, he's in his late 30s. I'm 38. I know how it is. When you're playing, I still play every
He's
week.
36.
The knees are rough, man. Look, he's obviously played a lot more games than I have in my career. And he came out and said it last week. He said, look, I have to basically inject myself before every game, with Voltaren, which is like like an anti-inflammatory. He has every single game, and it's tough for him to play with his kids and stuff. But look, at the end of the day, he loves soccer, and he said it. He was going to retire with his best friend, Messi. They said it back when they were in Barcelona. So I've expected this since the day Messi signed with Miami. I tweeted about it back in May, June. And again, it's been my dream come true. I've never seen him play live. And I'm so excited, dude. You have no, I'm going nuts right now. So
no, I bet. Look, I know a couple of Liverpool fans. Shout out to Brenton and Callie from the battered Marlins. They're huge Liverpool fans, and they were starting to get kind of sour on the whole season ticket holder situation with the increase in price. But once they heard Luis Suarez signed, they got really excited all over again, because Liverpool fans love Luis Suarez from his stay over there, where they almost won the chip before the Aguero famous goals at the end back in like 2012 or whenever it was. So yeah, I get it. Luis Suarez is a big deal, and I guess let's go back in time just a little bit. I was one of the people that was personally saying I wasn't a fan of the signing, and this is before he signed, obviously, right? When there was the rumor starting at the beginning of the season, before we even got Messi.
Yeah.
Reason being, I don't like the guy personally. I just didn't like a lot of his antics. Now, for those of you that are, I know if you're new to the channel and you followed Messi, you probably know all the Suarez. But there's a lot of people that have been with us for a while that maybe don't know the Suarez history. So Chris and I figured that maybe we would show you some of the stuff to kind of familiarize you guys with.
En dan hebben Suarez en Bakal het nog met elkaar aan de stok gebaard. Bakal. Mike Tyson beet ooit
Mike Tyson, they compared him
het
to.
oor van een tegenstander af.
That's not bad. That's not a bad name to be compared to.
Uit het lichaam van Bakal te nemen.
Yes, not.
Look, at least he bites shoulders and not ears.
Oh, my fault. Look, I skipped the actual bite. My fault. Here it is.
Daar. Ja, hij bijt Bakal.
Oh my!
And that was
in front of the ref too.
Mike Tyson beet ooit.
No shame.
No shame.
That was his first.
All right.
What's
Let's go to the
happened
next
next?
one.
Ivanovic is down and Suarez is being spoken to about it.
Look at this right here. Boom.
Oh my!
Look at that. Something went on.
How about my favorite part is when he calls for the penalty?
Suarez does. He does exactly that. That is quite incredible and pretty disgusting. In that whole incident, I think Branislav Ivanovic showed admirable restraint.
A clash inside the penalty area
And
involving
then here we
Chiellini.
have
Left
World
his
Cup
Uruguayan
2014.
opponent Suarez.
Probably the
Watching
most
his
famous
face.
of all of them.
What's Chiellini claiming here? Here he is again, running to the box.
Here we
There's
go,
the
here we
first
go.
challenge. Oh dear.
Oh my!
Oh dear, dear, dear. Another look.
Here we go.
It looks to me.
And then I'll fast forward to
Dare I
the
say
biggest
it.
reason I disliked him.
EPL game.
The World Cup 2010. This is the biggest reason I had an issue with Luis Suarez right here.
What a dramatic thing. There's a red card coming out as well. Well, there had to be drama right at the end here.
And yeah, this was rough to watch when it happened.
Well, I mean, you could tell he really cared about not getting it in the goal. So.
Well, you couldn't
Oh
have
well,
more dramatic
obviously.
ending to a World Cup match than this one.
And just to be clear, it looks like the other Uruguayan player is also going to block it with his hand. He just missed.
Absolutely.
So those are
and the craziest part is, and Solana's like absolutely like takes pride and ownership of that.
Well, they ended up
100%.
moving on to the World Cup because of that. So those are just some of the reasons as to why some people don't like Luis Suarez. I just don't like his antics, but he is like one of those players that you really hate, but once he's yours, and that's who he is. He's obviously passionate. I don't like the way he expresses his passion, but now that he's with us, F it, go bite the Orlando mascot, go bite, some of the Nashville players, go bite Zimmerman. Like you're with one of us now. Go bite whoever you want, and I'll support you.
I
love it.
I want to mention something here because Rohan has been out here in these streets blazing everybody, like dropping dimes. So he mentions here, Higuain isn't hated for anything but the World Cup final. Right, that's a dime.
How does Higuain? Why is Higuain?
I don't know, but I'm bringing up a good comment he made, and then here is another one. Suarez is hated just because he constantly dunked on Real Madrid, and Dan couldn't handle that 5-1.
Oh no, look, but let me be very clear. I don't give a crap what he did to Real Madrid. Like I'm an Inter Miami fan. Like, this is what you have to understand. And I think people that watch the show don't realize it because a lot of people that watch this show, whether they're Inter Miami season ticket holders or just started coming over with Messi, you guys like Inter Miami right now, but like your real team is like over in Europe. Like Inter Miami is my squad. Like I don't give a fuck about what happens in Europe. Like those teams can go into extinction and I wouldn't blink. Like, I don't give a fuck about those teams. Inter Miami is my team. And Luis Suarez is now part of Inter Miami. So I'm all in on Luis Suarez. That's all I really care about is Drive Pink Stadium. So talk all the crap you want about Real Madrid. It doesn't bother me.
And I want to mention something else, Solana. I'm sorry if I was going to step on you, but Joe Kerr said, Danny and Solana with stats. Chris, what's his FIFA card look like? It's a great question that you asked, Joe, because here it is, baby.
Woo, 90 on shots. Love it.
No, that's an old card, though.
That is an old card. That's an Atleti card.
That's from
when he won the shit,
that's the card that was for FIFA 23. Listen,
okay,
I'll take it.
That means that came out in 2022 for sure.
Yes, I'll take that.
All right. So let's get back onto the pitch. Luis Suarez.
You missed one of the big controversies with Luis Suarez. You missed that one.
Patrick Evra? The Patrick Evra?
The Patrice Evra one, yeah.
Okay. I want you to.
There.
I didn't know about that until you told me about it a couple months ago. So if you want, please dive into that because I wasn't aware of that until you told me about it a couple of months ago.
Yeah, absolutely. So when he was playing on Liverpool and Patrice was on Manchester United, they played one of the games, and during the game he yelled apparently "negro de mierda" to him, and that was taken as racism.
I mean, it kind of is, buddy.
100%. What he said is not right. But again, you have to understand, like, you're playing a game in Uruguay, it's heated. I don't know, man. Like, I've said worse things on the pitch. I mean, it just happens, it's part of the game.
Not gonna lie to you, Solana. You're probably better off just not saying anything about this controversy if you're gonna say you said worse shit on the pitch. Like, we just should just gloss right over that if you said worse than that on the pitch. That's pretty bad.
I mean, I understand the competitive juices. Look, the competitive juices get flowing. But I mean, there's just some things that some players shouldn't say, and I think he made a little bit of a dangerous decision bringing something like that up. I mean, look at what happened.
I like this Rohan. I like Rohan, man.
yeah, man.
Rohan is the man.
Well, Chiellini unfortunately retired way too early because I would have loved to see him. And I don't think Suarez would have been going out to really bite him again, but I would have loved to see them match up against each other in the box.
You heard after the World Cup, you heard Chiellini come out and they asked him. They're like, "Yo, like, should he be suspended for how long he got the suspension?"
He said no.
Chiellini said no. He said it's part of the game. He understood. Obviously, he doesn't support it, but you understand it's a heat of the moment thing. Who knows what Chiellini might have said to him the first 70 minutes before he did that? Maybe he was talking about his mom, his sister.
I think it's so weird. It's so weird that that's his go-to is the bite, like not his fist.
Why do you think he never got braces, a retainer, a night guard? Because he needs those teeth, man.
He's got a grill on him for sure. He's got a fucking
teeth,
grill.
Man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you should see the shirt we're cooking up for him. He's got a grill on him.
Ooh,
all right. So now I was going to ask you, as far as international duty, has he been playing regularly with the Uruguay national team?
No, he has not. No, so he didn't get called up the first two match dates, but he got called up the last match date. He didn't play against Argentina, but he did get some minutes against Bolivia. And honestly, I think, I don't know what to think about the time of his national, on the national team. I think his time is over. I thought his time was over after the World Cup. I was actually a little bit excited for Bielsa to move on with the team and not call him or Cavani or Muslera, any of that golden generation, I guess, if you want to call it. But he decided to call Suarez, and look, he deserved it. The way he's been playing in Brazil, he deserved a call-up. He is probably right now the second best number 9, in the national team of Uruguay. And until he gets proven, otherwise, he needs to continue to be called up. So, look, I think he's going to continue to be called up. He might end up playing the Copa America, and I think that might be his last tournament. But we'll see how the season goes. Again, it all depends on how it goes with Inter Miami, if he's injured, and how all that goes, right?
The biggest reason I ask is because on this schedule, there's going to be well, actually, let me correct myself, because when I made this, I incorrectly put that July 20th was the final for the Copa America, and it's July 14th. But there's going to be like 5 games that were without Messi and whoever else is up in the Copa America. So what I want to know is Luis Suarez also going to be missing time, because he'll probably be playing for the Copa America?
I honestly, I don't know. Like I said, he's been a little irregular in Bielsa's lineup. So, like I said, he didn't call him the first 2 match days, the first 2 fechas. He did call him the third fecha FIFA. And I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see what he does in March. In March, we have another fecha FIFA. We'll see if he calls him. And then they have the friendlies in June. And then they go into the Copa America. So I think it's all going to depend on, Luis Suarez's form. How is he playing, with Inter Miami? Does he look informed? Does he not? And if he does, look, it's a very, very highly likely that he gets called up to the national team.
That sucks. I mean, it's good for him. I get it, but it sucks, because I would really like him to carry us throughout that month, because we're going to need a lot of help, because we're going to be depleted.
Go ahead, Dan. Yeah. Go ahead, Solano. No, go ahead. I don't want to.
I was going to say that was one of the big things that I noticed on social media. Folks complaining about the roster that the Inter Miami is putting together, is that, hey, on those FIFA match days, the team is going to be completely depleted depending on who they get, because a lot of national team players are on the squad. So it's going to be really interesting to see what Tata Martino does when a Suarez, Messi, you're still going to have Busquets because he's retired from the national team.
Jordi Alba also.
Right. But the younger guys, Kremaki, is he going to be called up?
Nah, he's not going to be called up.
You don't know, man. You don't know. No. Well, he's going to play for the U23 men's team now in the Olympic qualifier.
Yeah.
So if he balls out, that's what I'm saying. You just don't know. There's 8 months until the Copa America, or 6 months until the Copa America. Now, anything can happen in these 6 months. It depends on who's playing good, who's not. What I have heard is that this might be Messi's last tournament. There's rumors that he might retire after the Copa America, and if from the national team as well. And I think if that happens, Suarez does as well. I think they do it together. It would be actually really cool if Uruguay played Argentina in the final in Miami, and then they retired together. But that's my dream, right? So we'll see if that happens. One dream. By
the way, everybody's wondering about the FIFA card. Luis Suarez doesn't even have a FIFA card in the new EAFC.
He's not in this year's. I'm sure with the January update, they'll add him as a player of Inter Miami.
Sure.
But okay, so let's play a little game with you, Chris, real quick. Overall rating, what do you think? What was the last card he has? 89 was that you popped up there?
It was like a 88. Let me go back to that real quick.
So it'll drop down a little bit probably. So what are you guessing? Look at those choppers. Jesus.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, shit. It's probably going to be like a 83, 84.
I'm guessing like 85, yeah.
They're going to drop the speed.
Player of the year in Brazil, that's a big deal.
It is.
One of the only internationals to ever win it.
That's impressive. Let's completely take away the fact that we know who Luis Suarez is and the history of his career, right? Look at M.E. Let's completely take away that, right? And just the player. If we found out that Inter Miami had just signed the player of the year in the Brazilian league, could you imagine how hyped we would be? That's what we're getting. Like, I get that he's older, But to win that award, that's a big deal. Like,
and let's not
we're
forget
getting
who
one
he
hell
was
of a
up against,
player.
right? Let's not forget who he was up against. Edric,
Hendrik,
who,
yeah.
Hendrik, who just signed with Real Madrid for I don't know how many hundreds of $1 millions. So, I mean, and this kid is 17 years old, Hendrik, right? 16, 17 years old, and all that. So
he reports to Real Madrid next summer.
So, I mean, that's absolutely nuts. A 36-year-old just went head to head with a 17-year-old. Joker, love you, bro. I got this. I got the stats, man.
No, he's done worse. He's done worse, apparently.
I was a dirty ass player, man. Look, I got suspended in high school.
Buttholes.
I got suspended in high school, and then we can leave this here. But I got suspended in high school for 6 weeks because I got a red card for mouthing off the ref, and then I mooned him on the way out of the field. So,
that's phenomenal.
Very nice.
Nice. And I went to private school, so that, I mean, you could imagine how, the private school league, how it was. So,
oh my goodness.
Man, I was rough back in the day, man. I had a lot of issues with mouthing off to referees and players, and
I can see it. You still mouth off on Twitter all the time.
All the time, man. I got an issue. So
I can see it.
I think I set the record in my freshman year of high school for most red cards for a Miami-Dade's like soccer player. And I don't know if that has ever been broken.
I work for the school district. I'm going to look into this now because
absolutely look it up.
This would be awesome. If I find that, I'm going to screenshot that and I'm going to post it because that would be quite the stat to have.
I mean, it's unbelievable. So I don't know if anybody's broken it yet, but I can tell you in my freshman year of high school, I think it was 9 or 10 red cards, and then I was suspended for the rest of the season.
Very nice. Very nice.
I want to mention a couple things
like
real
a true
quick.
Uruguayan.
Exactly.
Nikhil is mentioning who is going to score most goals in 2024. He believes it's going to be Suarez. He understands Messi like no one else. I can kind of see that.
Well, okay, so let's get into that because obviously there's other things to talk about as far as on the pitch. So let's start with starting. We were talking about it last episode.
Well, and what?
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, while you do that, yeah, GFR is mentioning that there's no way you work in CPS.
I do.
So, and I want you guys to understand something because Rohan mentioned a comment. I want to get to it because he says they live in the past. It's no wonder MLS is taking its own time to catch up. Someone mentioned here the last time that he bit someone was 2014, right?
It was.
I feel like little by little, I feel like things are going to be acceptable, I guess.
Let me tell you
the
something.
fans are going to embrace him.
My wife, because my wife, for those of you that don't know, we have batteredfans.com. We sell all the shirts and everything. My wife is the artist behind it. And I told her last month, Luis Suarez, we got to start working on some Luis Suarez artwork. I told her about the celebration, right? The fingers, and I told her the story behind the celebration. She fell in love with the guy. Because for those of you that don't know, he starts off by kissing his ring finger for his wife. Then he kisses his wrist because he has a tattoo of his kids' names. And then he does a kiss like this for his wife and his 2 kids. And if anybody's wondering why I have pink nails, my daughter, I'm a girl dad, by the way. So
3 kids.
That's why.
3 kids.
Oh, 3 kids.
3
okay.
kids.
So it's for the 3 kids. Okay.
That's right.
So she fell in love with the celebration. Really cool story. So maybe he's redeeming himself. Maybe he doesn't want to bite people in front of his kids anymore. I don't know. But what I was going to ask you, we were talking about it last episode. 34 regular season games with all the cups. If you make it to the final, right, which is a long shot, you probably won't. But let's say hypothetically you make it to the final of every tournament that you're in, plus the regular season games, that's 54 games. And then you add in possible playoffs, which would be 3 games in the first round. That's 57 games. I don't know, 60, 61 plus games. How many of those games could you expect Luis Suarez? That's a lot of fucking games to play when you're on bad knees and you're injecting yourself before every game. Like a lot of people saying, like, oh, poor Campana. I think Luis Suarez is going to be a super sub in a lot of those games. What do you think, Solana?
I don't think so. Remember, he just came off of a campaign with Gremio where he played 53 games this year. And I think you're going to see him play, a good 30 to 40 games, with Inter Miami, as long as he doesn't get injured. If he's able to stay somewhat healthy, correct. If he's able to stay somewhat healthy, I would expect him to start alongside Messi probably almost every game that they're available. Why? Just like, our boys said in the chat. I mean, they have just an understanding with each other. It's just this chemistry. I don't know, man. I don't know if I should call them butt buddies or not. I mean, but they love each other. But they develop this chemistry that it's just undeniable. And going back to who they think is going to score the most goals, I don't think it's going to be Suarez. I actually think it's going to be Messi. And why? Because we go back to Suarez's assist.
Suarez sets him up.
If you go back to when they played in Barcelona, and I saw somebody mention the MSN, the Messi, Suarez, Neymar. If you go back to that, I mean, look at Suarez. He was I don't think he was ever the leading goal scorer ever on any of those Barcelona teams, but I think he led the teams in assists 1 or 2 years. So I have to go back and double check those stats. But I mean, you can see how unselfish of a player he is. And I think
I'm going to give you good.
I'm going to say, I think when he plays with Campana up top, like maybe when Messi doesn't play, they'll put 2 9s, Campana and him up top, and we'll see what happens. And I think Campana is going to be unbelievable. And I think you can see that from Suarez's partnership with Cavani on the national team. Cavani, I would say he's very similar, to Campana in terms of his stature, his physique, the type of game he plays. Maybe Cavani has a little bit, is a little bit faster or whatever. But in terms of there are 9 in the box. And I think, again, you saw Suarez and Cavani, their whole national team career. I mean, they've played unbelievable together. So I don't think, there's no doubt that he can't do the same with Campana next year. So I think Campana, like you said, I don't think Suarez is going to be a super sub, but I think Campana is going to benefit a lot from Suarez playing together. And again, I think Messi is going to lead the team in goals. That's my opinion.
When I picture Suarez, for those of you that are Inter Miami fans and have been Inter Miami fans for at least the last year, what I picture Suarez is like peak Campana and peak Joseph Martinez had a baby. And they birthed a player like Suarez, right? Because we loved Campana back to the goal. He can create his own goals. He's a finisher. We love Joseph Martinez because he's a lot more technical and he'll find the open space for a tap-in. He'll put himself in a position to receive a good pass to get that tap-in. Suarez does both. And that's why Suarez is one of the greatest 9s of all time. You remember that beautiful little assist that Joseph had to Messi inside the box, where he got it and he did a little flick over to Messi and Messi finished it. That's the type of stuff you're going to see Suarez doing all the time. And then if you think about the Cincinnati U.S. Open Cup semifinal, where Messi had, I think it was 2 crosses to Campana that he finished with his head inside the box, Suarez gives you all of that. Him and Messi are going to be so fun to watch. And Chris and I luckily have front row seats to it with our seats right behind the goal. I'm really looking forward to it. And it's going to be even if you were like me and you hated on Suarez for the last, 13, 14 years since he got to wherever the hell, Ajax and then Liverpool, and you didn't want this to happen, jump on board because he's with us now. Whether you like him or not, don't forget about the past. He's with us now. If he bites somebody, if he bites the Orlando mascot, we're not going to be upset about it. I'm not going to get upset about it. Whatever the hell you want. He's going to help us win, and he's going to play some beautiful football, and we're going to be really happy to it. So I'm all for it. Let's go. The new number 9. What number do you think Campana wears now, Chris?
Oh, I think he's probably going to end up getting what?
Joe Kerr asked the same question.
Yeah, Joe Kerr asked the same question. He's asking what number is he going to be taking. I was going to say the Lassiter number. I think Lassiter had 11.
So the numbers he's had, the numbers he's had in the past. So
I was just about to look it up.
Yeah, when he played in Barcelona Sporting Club in Guayaquil, he played with number 52. He played with number 19. And then he was transferred to Wolverhampton, to Wolves, played with number 30. And then he had 1 season in Portugal where he played with number 13. And then he had 1 season with the Grasshopper Club in Zurich, where he wore number 19. So a lot of numbers interesting. 19. He wore number 19 twice. So
yeah, number 30 is Kremaki's. Kremaki has 30. So I my money's on 19.
19. He wore.
Yeah, but doesn't have Robbie clubs. Robinson have 19?
Bro, really? Are you seriously bringing that up?
I mean, I'm just asking the question. Doesn't he wear 19?
Who?
Yeah, of course. I know.
Still on the team?
Is he still on the team?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, listen, I don't know about you, but Luis Suarez is going to have to compete with getting some minutes from Emerson Rodriguez. Let's not even play around here.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. I mean, absolutely. Is he even coming back from Santos Laguna on his loan?
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
They didn't want him.
Yeah.
I think that they're hoping that somebody else takes him, but as of right now, he's an Miami player.
Yeah, the thing is that the coach at Santos Laguna is a Uruguayan guy. It's Pablo Repeto. He used to be the coach at Nacional. So he probably has good eyes. He didn't want Emerson. So I'm sorry, guys.
And
No, don't
GFR is
apologize to
mentioning,
me. I don't want that guy either.
and GFR is mentioning Farias has number 11, so that's out of the question.
No, it's going to be 19. Robbie
That's what I
Glass,
think
like,
as well.
if Robbie Glass is still on the team, he's going to have to give it up. It's going to be number 19. Unless he goes to 52, which is pretty cool because I can't think of any player that's ever had number 52.
He might wear 7. He wears 7 for the national team, so he might wear 7. 7 is Mota.
Oh.
So if Mota's no longer here, he could wear Mota's
Yeah.
number. Interesting, huh? Although I've heard the Inter Miami is trying to sell Gregory, and Mota is a maybe to come back. So we'll see.
I want to mention something, Danny, real quickly, because Tank is mentioning if Jordi should become our left wing and Negri start at left back. I want to talk about that in a minute, but I'll tell you one thing. A lot of people are missing the fact that Sergio Busquets is a hell of a fucking passer. And the fact of the matter is that nobody is paying attention to Messi being this like shiny object in the middle of the pitch. And everybody's going to be distracted by him. Luis Suarez is going to find lanes to be able to just score goals, even from connecting with Busquets.
Could you imagine Robert Taylor? Look, on this show, what's Robert Taylor's nickname?
On this show, baby, it's fucking Neymar Light.
Neymar Light. We're going to have Messi
we're
on
going
the
to have
right,
the MSN Light.
Suarez, and then we have Neymar Light out on the left.
MSN Light.
Look, if Faria ends up taking Robert Taylor's spot, which probably is going to happen, he could be Neymar Light Part 2. Like, this is going to be really fun. I'm really excited for this upcoming season. I guess the next question is, Messi's 36. Suarez turns 37 next month. Busquets is 35. Jordi Alba's 34. How often do you think we see all 4 of them play? Let's say out of 50 games. Let's just put a number 50 out there. Out of 50 games, how many do they play together? Would you say? Let's throw a number out there, Solana.
With a full training camp, off season, and saying that they don't miss games due to international, I would say they'll probably play at least 60% of the games together.
60?
Yeah. So if you're saying 53, you're talking about 30-something games?
Like 30-something, yeah. I mean, Sean Callahan's saying the same thing, 33. GFR is mentioning 25. Ash Freedom is mentioning 25.
And I think that's fair.
I think somewhere between 30 to 35 games is a pretty fair number to ask your top 4 players to play games in.
Right. There's 30-something games in the MLS season, right? 30-something games plus 34. Plus you got U.S. Open Cup and Leagues Cup. So you have to imagine Leagues Cup
and Champions Cup, which is the priority.
Yeah, CCL, they're going to all play for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And Leagues Cup, I would assume that they would all play for sure. So let's say those games for sure. And then you have to look at the MLS schedule and the national team schedule and see what games are they going to miss, what games are they going to not. And I think that's what it's going to be. And it's, again, as long as they stay healthy, they're going to play. They're going to play. So.
And Spider Pig's mentioning 35-40. Mike V, I believe, he's saying 50%. And Tank, you're putting way too much faith in this kid, Farias. He's about to get on fucking Gomez level with me. Okay? Get him out of here.
Easy.
I know, man.
Easy. No way.
He had a rough end to the season. The last 3 or 4
Get him out.
He had a rough go. I'll give you that. But Leagues Cup and the first couple games after the Leagues Cup, he looked great. When I was watching him, I was thinking to myself, where's
Emerson?
People would be talking about him like they were talking about this kid Almada from Atlanta, where they're like, oh, wow, who is this kid? He's going to be going to Europe in a year or 2. That's what I felt like they would be talking about Farias in that month span when he first got here. And I think he's going to get back to that, especially with all the Messi and Suarez knowledge that's going to be going out there. Like, come on, man. Farias is going to be a baller.
Hey, I'll tell you this, man. So Farias, and I think the issue that happened with him towards the end of the season is very similar to what happened to Kremaski. They both got called to the national team, and I think they both got called to the national team because of the Messi. They played with Messi, and Messi made them look good. Right. And I think that maybe got into their head and kind of messed with them towards the end of the season, because they both, if you noticed, after League Cup, they both of their plays kind of dropped towards the end of the season. Absolutely. And that kind of hurt us in the, the US Open Cup final. That hurt us towards the end of the season in terms of getting to the playoffs and all that. So look, man, Farias, I think, is an absolute stud. I saw him playing when he was in Argentina. I think he's unbelievable. I think Gomez might have come a little overrated, but I think what he needs he needs to get accustomed to the league. The Paraguayan league is very, very different to what the MLS
very
is.
physical.
The MLS is very physical. Exactly. The MLS, it demands a lot more, I would say, speed, just a lot more physicality. You need to be more in shape. In the Paraguayan league and the Uruguayan league, you don't have to be as in much shape. It's a lot slower, a lot, stacked, play 5 in the back or 4 stacked in the back, and you kind of play kickball. So MLS is not like that anymore. MLS is a lot more physical. It's more kick and run. It's more kind of the English style, more vertical, I would like to say.
But I want to mention something, because if anything, Gomez to me looks like a super aggressive player. So like, I'm not going to sit here and say that he is, you know what, Alejandro, get up on a screen. All right. Take up a little square so you and I could destroy you here live. Okay. Because Sakalo.
That's our unofficial stat guy. He refuses to come on, but we want him to be our stat guy.
You get out of here, just like Farias, Alejandro. Get out.
Okay. And Don Cafecito mentioned that it won't be for real until Suarez takes a sip of a cafecito. But let's remind Don Cafecito that Suarez does not drink coffee. Suarez is all about the mate. So I cannot wait to watch all the players walk out of the little bus with their little termo right here and their mate. How amazing is that? Come on.
All I'm saying is that with going back to Gomez, he seemed like the kind of player that actually might match well with the MLS, because he was super aggressive, super speedy, wanting to get physically involved with the opposing players. But I don't know, man. I just don't see a really good offensive-minded or offensively skilled player. And I think that now that we have Gregory and we have Mota back, I don't know how much of a use he's going to have.
My issue with Gomez is that I felt like he was a little reckless. He was a little reckless when he was defending,
overplayed
tackles. I felt like he was reckless with the ball at his feet, turning the ball over constantly. There were a couple of gimme shots that he just would sail. Like,
that's what we got Mota for, and David Ruiz. Get out of here!
No, don't talk bad about David Ruiz. David Ruiz.
No, not David Ruiz. I'm saying Gomez. Get out of here. We already got people for Gomez. Get him out.
No, man.
We got Emerson back. Get him out.
You got to give him another year. I think that he's going to play much better this year. He's going to be well within himself. I think, but he did look like. I was just about to say exactly this right before I popped up. He looked like he was running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Like, he was just so erratic. So everybody's like, he's box to box. Yeah, he is box to box. He's just bouncing back and forth, though, like erratically box to box. Like, I thought he was a little reckless. And Kremaki, towards the end of the season, I thought was turning the ball over a lot more. But the midfield is definitely our weakness right now, right? Because forwards, I think we're set. Defensively, if we really add Gressel, I would like to add another center back. Miles Robinson would be my dream. But I don't think the center backs are that bad either. I think the issue is midfield. And let me tell you why I think that, Solano. The reason I think Tata likes to play aggressive. That back line plays very high. So I don't think the center backs are as bad as everybody thinks. I think it's that the midfield loses the ball so much that we constantly get caught on counterattacks. If we had better technical players that wouldn't turn the ball over as much, our defense wouldn't look as bad as it does. That's what I think.
I don't know. I disagree. I think really the back line is probably the biggest weakness. I don't think Christoph is as advertised. Well, he didn't really come. He wasn't my favorite, anyways. Yeah, he shouldn't start. I do like Toto Aviles. I liked how he played. What
about Kamal Miller
with the Argentine national team? I liked Kamal Miller for what I saw last year, but I think he needs to lose maybe 10 pounds. Man, I'm not gonna lie. And again, I'm not talking shit about him. But
let's
again,
take him over Take him to the Kaseya Center. A little heat
That's what
culture.
I'm,
Some
that's what I'm
body
saying.
fat
We gotta
training.
get him trained. We gotta get him trained with Haslam. I'm glad you mentioned it because the Heat won tonight, 122 to 113. So I appreciate it. I know we're on another show together.
No. We got to shout it out anyway. If anybody here is a Miami Heat fan, battered Heat fans, Thursday nights 10 o'clock, come join us. We talk Heat basketball. So quick little plug there. But yeah, I can see him trying to lose a little weight. I get that. But again, and for the record, for the most part, I thought he got back defensively pretty well considering his size. He was hustling back often.
Definitely, but he's not the center back that you want to be like your sweeper. And I think that's what maybe Kristoff was trying to be. Maybe Kamal Miller was a little bit ahead of him in terms of where it was. But I really think we need to get rid of Kristoff. We need another center back who's like maybe somebody who's maybe an MLS vet, somebody who's been in the MLS for a super long time, because
Miles Robinson.
I wish, man. I wish, but I think that's a pipe dream considering if we get Gressel. And Gressel to me would be the signing of the offseason, FYI, because I think Yedlin is no good for this team. I don't think Yedlin fits Tata Martino's scheme in terms of what he's looking for. So Gressel for me would be the signing of the offseason for this team if they get it done.
I wonder if Franco Negri would be willing to play right back instead of playing left back.
No,
because then you'd be able to have Negri play right back and then have Alba play left back.
He's not going to contribute offensively like he did on the left side on the right.
No, but what you might Steve Munoz, I still hate Ukrainians. No, I mean, I don't hate the Ukrainians. I just don't like. I don't think Kristoff is that great. And let me, about the Ukrainians, Mudryk over in Chelsea is kind of garbage too. So maybe no, Ukrainians. Maybe you're right.
But let's be very clear though, and I've said this on the show before. If Kristoff was playing for Nashville, he would be the defensive player of the year.
Oh, he'd be great
because the defense that they play, Zimmerman wins it like every year. I promise you, Zimmerman on Inter Miami would look horrible. It's probably Kristoff, his positioning, the way that unfortunately Inter Miami plays, it doesn't suit him because he can't play on the counter or defend the counter as much as a Miles Robinson, a Toto Aviles. So definitely the scheme doesn't fit the player in this case. But I'm just going to defend Kristoff because you're shitting on Ukrainians and Kristoff, and I think that he just chose the wrong team. Maybe with Neville, it worked a little better, but without that, it's not working for him.
Maybe he should go to Portland. Speaking about Portland, why are we not playing Portland this year? How did the MLS messed up so big on that? How could, Portland in Miami opening night, that would have been the game. Neville back in his backyard facing Suarez, facing
but nobody cares
Messi,
about Neville
though.
Outside of Chris, nobody really cares about Neville. Like, that's not a story.
I do. I'm he disrespected me and he never apologized. So, it's all good.
He did.
He only apologized to Franco. He didn't apologize to me.
Yeah,
he did. Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. I just didn't tape it. I just didn't tape it like he did. But I asked a similar question, and he told me that I disrespected him, and how dare I ask him a question like that? Come on, man. So get out of here, Neville, bro.
I want to get out.
You want a hot take? Portland's missing the playoffs this year. Hot take. Boom.
Did they miss the playoffs last year? I don't even know.
Yeah, they missed the playoffs. Yeah,
they missed it again.
Yeah. All right, well then that's not a hot take. They suck.
Nah, bro, they might finish last.
That's a lazy take. That's a lazy take. Get out of here. Hot take.
Let's chill out a little bit, Dennis. Let's chill out, okay?
I agree. I agree with Dennis, man. I agree. He's going to kick him up in Portland.
I do want to mention this real quick before you move on, Danny. Tank just mentioned a comment that I haven't really considered. We need a second goalkeeper. Keep pushing Drake to keep improving. He wants
to be on the U.S. men's national team. I think he'll self-motivate himself because he wants to be the starter eventually on the U.S. men's national team. I don't think that he needs any motivation.
I do think it would be interesting to bring in a veteran goalkeeper, though, because we only
not De Gea.
No, not De Gea, but we only have CJ Dos Santos back there. And the time that he looked a little shaky last year. So I would be interested if they would bring in a veteran, just a backup. But
we had that before with what's this guy?
I'll say Nick Marsman.
Nick
Marsman was like the highest paid backup in the league. Like we did. Come on.
Yeah. Absolutely,
right.
Absolutely.
But he's the veteran-ish sort of player that kind of gave him a run for his money. And Steve,
I do want to ask.
I want to clarify this. Are you wearing chancletas and shorts right now?
I think he meant when he was interviewing Neville.
Oh, I know, but I had to confirm that right now.
Okay.
Chancletas.
Yes, he is.
Oh
no,
my
you
God,
got those ugly ones too.
You got the Jesus pieces, bro. Come on, man.
Oh my God.
Hey, I got the Birkenstocks, baby. Yeah.
Bro, what are
I
you doing?
hate
Get some
those so much.
slides, bro.
Nah, these aren't
What?
slides. They're slides. They're
Are
slides.
you
They just
in
got two.
1991, Abuelo?
I hate those. Look at that.
Remember, bro, I'm
Guys,
38 years old, bro.
I'll show off mine also. See, I don't.
Oh, I like
always
those. I like those.
Yeah,
Those are nice.
I
Those are
think
nice.
Just randomly throw.
Everyone. I'm sorry, Danny. Listen, guys, everybody should just do a thumbs up, subscribe, just because Solana premiered his Jesus.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I
pieces.
think we lost some viewership. Don't nobody want to see that. Those Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't even know what those.
Hey, and just to be clear, Don Cafecito.
The
I
Gonzalo's.
did go. No, but I did go. I did go to the press conferences in shorts, not chancletas. Just clear it up. But I've gotten better now. I'm going in pants. I'm going in polos and nice jackets. So I'm going for the Franco look. I'm trying to be a little bit more like Franco,
But now you know what? Franco's got that real cute comb over. Like you gotta. I
got it too, man. Look at that.
Ah, okay. I'm gonna see if I can work on that. I need that.
You gotta hit up Franco because Franco's is pristine for sure.
Sean,
this is a thumbs down episode. Damn.
Absolutely, I'm on it. It's always a thumbs down when I'm on it, man.
Nah, Tommy one time is still the worst. All right, episode 98 will live in infamy. Before I go in, because I do want to have a couple predictions just for fun to see what you guys predict. I did want to touch on just one quick thing. I've said Nashville is our biggest rival. Came in together, first playoff game against each other, first final against each other. We're going to play them in our first ever Champions Cup game, probably, right, if they beat the Dominican team. I think that's our rival. I haven't heard a peep from any Nashville fan talking crap about today's signing. But for some reason, Orlando fans all over the place. Orlando, we don't give a fuck about you guys anymore. You guys are beneath us. Keep talking up to us. We're not going to look at you anymore. We don't care about you. You are beneath us. Nashville is what we worry about. But I thought it was cute that they kept just throwing jabs and nobody really cares. So I just wanted to put that out there real quick because Nashville is who we care about beating right now. Orlando just wants to be like us. So I feel bad for them. But, it is what it is. So now moving on.
Didn't Orlando say that they were built, not bought? But I mean, they had players like Kaká, who was bought. They had players like Roberto Nani, who was bought. Yeah. Mauricio Pereira, our Uruguayan, who was bought, who actually has to be let out of his contract so he can go back to Nacional. He signed last week with Nacional. Interesting, huh? He wanted to leave Orlando to go back to Uruguay and make less money. Interesting. I wonder what's going on in Orlando. Yeah, and they got Facundo Torres over there.
And they were looking into Luis Suarez also before because I know you brought up that
Suarez was never going to go there, bro. He's not going to go to a Mickey Mouse town, bro.
Remember you said before he went to Nacional, MLS showed interest. That was one of the teams that was showing interest, but they couldn't pull it in. They want to be like us, but
always.
But you guys are down here. We don't even bother talking about you anymore. Like that's it. Like it's over.
The only reason we ever talk about Orlando, at least in my household, is if I'm going to the parks.
That's it. That's it. So I feel bad for them because they're going to be talking to a wall now because we don't care about you guys. You're beneath us now. All right. So moving on. Predictions. I'll start with Chris. What does this look like formation-wise? And then how many goals do you think okay, formation, do we see Campana play with Suarez at all? And how many goals does Suarez end up with? 3 quick questions.
I do see him playing with Campana because the way that Suarez plays, just historically, you could tell that other strikers play pretty well with him. I do see a formation with 2 at the top. So I don't know if it would work out with like a 4-4-2 or like a 5-3-2 or like some funky sort of thing there, and I think that he is going to at least get the same amount of goals that you predicted that Joseph and Campana were going to get this year, which were what? I think it was like 20.
I said 30 combined.
Yeah, 30 combined was like 15 apiece. So I think he can get up to 30 combined this year. Nah.
With Campana? No. Okay.
Yeah, no, with Campana for sure they're going to get to 30. But I think without Campana just himself, I probably think that he's going to get somewhere between like 18 to 23.
No, that's a solid season.
Yeah, I think that's going to be, I think that he's going to blow the fucking roof out of this fucking league, to be honest, because everybody's expecting him to just get on the field and then just crumble like a box of Legos. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. You're not sitting in the corners, guys. This is fucking Luis Suarez. He's a fucking player.
I'll give you a real hot take. Solana said the highest hot take was Portland not making the playoffs. That wasn't a hot take at all. But I'll give you a real hot take. Luis Suarez, first regular season game against Raw Salt Lake, he has a brace. I think he starts the season with a brace.
Oh my God, but you're gonna make me cry already.
We
still got 2 months. We got 2 months before the season. You're gonna make me start crying?
I can't wait, man. I'm so excited. Solano, predictions. What do you think as far as formation? Do we see Campana and Suarez together? And how many goals do you think Suarez ends the year with?
All right, formation is going to depend on what happens the rest of the offseason. So I think there's two formations that I think Tata's going to play with and that we've seen him play. That's the 4-3-3. And if we do the 4-3-3, it's going to probably be a mix of, like we said, Farias, Suarez, and Messi, or Taylor, Suarez, and Messi up top. The middle, we're going to have to see who's left. But I think it could be a combination of maybe Kremaski, David Ruiz, and
Busquets.
And Busi. But, we have to see if Gregory's still going to be here, who else we bring in. There's a lot of free agents out there. And then the back four, it's going to have to be, hopefully, Gressel, Toto Aviles, Kamal Miller, and then Jordi Alba. But I thought you were going to say he's going to bite somebody, bro, to be honest. That would have been amazing.
I was going to real take. I didn't think of that. That would be funny.
But I mean, then if he plays a 3-5-2, or which could end up being like a 5-2-3 also, you might see a Campana Suarez up top. And I'm telling you, if there's a pairing that I'm super, super excited to see, it's Campana and Suarez up top. Why?
With Messi behind them?
Absolutely. I think it's going to – I'm telling you, what Suarez does for young players is second to none. And I predict that Campana, if he doesn't have his best year this year, he will have his best year next year, or he will end up in Europe next year because of how he plays with Suarez this year. That's how good I think Suarez is as a teammate.
I'm excited, man. I'm really fucking excited. Chris, you want
to
say
something?
Man?
Well, I don't know. I'm just going to make a quick point before you tell us your prediction, Danny. How salty do you think Joseph Martinez is feeling right now? How bad do you think
he knew this was coming?
I mean, but you know what it is?
He tried so hard, though. He tried so hard. He was next to Messi.
I feel for him.
He tried to be his best friend. But nobody can replace Suarez. What can I say?
No, and you know what? And I think that Joseph, he didn't live up to what we hoped he would be, but I think he played better than what people gave him credit for, because technically he did create a lot. He made a lot of big runs. He didn't finish, I get it, and that's what you ultimately have to do as a striker. But, man, I think he played better than what people give him credit for. He doesn't deserve a DP contract, but I think he was better than what people give him credit for. Campana being mentored by Higuain, then Messi and Suarez. Yes. Campana, right now, he is set up for success with all the knowledge that he's been surrounded by in his early part of his career, 100%. And how many goals do you think Luis Suarez ends the year with, Solana?
I'm going to go he's going to end up with 20 goals, 11 assists.
All right. So
20 and 11.
Wow. A lot of assists, huh?
I think 4-3-3 is going to be what we see. I'm sorry, just real quick.
No, it's okay. While you're doing that, Mr. Krabs mentioning here that restaurant made those Joseph arepas for nothing. I think that's what they're talking about.
The pink arepas?
Yeah.
The pink arepas.
Yeah.
All right, well, I was trying to find the all-time. I forgot what the exact number is for all-time goals in a season. I was trying to find it.
For MLS?
Or 32 or 33. I forgot. Vela had it. He broke Joseph Martinez's record. I forgot what exactly it was. But I think it's going to be 4-3-3. I think that if they play 5 in the back, I think we might see that 5-2-3 with Messi, Campana, and Suarez up top. I think that Suarez is kind of come close to breaking that record. I really do.
Wow. So here's just to have it broken down here. So just like you said, Carlos Vela, 34 goals in 2019.
34.
Number 2 is Joseph Martinez with 31. Number 3 is Zlatan with 30. And then, then it gets, Roy Lassiter, ex Miami Fusion right there.
Yeah.
27 goals in 1996. That's when he played for the Mutiny.
I take it back. He can't break that record because we're going to be prioritizing Champions Cup. And
it's not going to count towards the MLS season.
It's not going to count towards that. And the games like the Saturday before and the Saturday after, he probably either won't play or he'll play less. So because of that, maybe he won't. So let me go backtrack. Let me backtrack on that. But if he was playing just straight 34, I think he would break that record. But because he won't, I think I'm going to say 20 goals. I'm going to say 20 goals. And I think Messi will still end up with more than him. And I think Messi will be in the low 20s, 23, 24. And I think it's going to be so fun. I really hope that it doesn't end up like somehow getting ruined with like some type of injury or anything. Let me knock on wood. But if they can stay healthy, because I mean, everybody was talking about it, right? Last year, like, oh, this is perfect. And Messi doesn't get injured because he doesn't run, but he ended up getting injured for the US Open Cup final. Like those things happen. And everybody wants to talk about, but they're not that old. They're not, but they've been playing football all their lives. So that adds up. So hopefully they can stay healthy. Champions Cup is the goal. And with this squad, now that Luis Suarez is official, no excuse. We need at least one trophy. At least. My goal for this team, my expectation, Champions Cup and MLS Cup. Those are the two I want. Leagues Cup we got already. Open Cup, I don't care about that much. So give me those two, and this is a successful year. All right. Go ahead. Solana, any final thoughts?
Bro, the only final thought I have to say is I'm going to go fill my glass up with a little bit more scotch, and I'm going to continue celebrating my boy Luis Suarez signing with the Rosa Negro, and I cannot wait to be there covering him every single game next season.
If, let's say hypothetically, we didn't have Messi and we picked up Luis Suarez, we would still be this hyped and we would still expect to win an MLS Cup because Luis Suarez is that good. Luis Suarez is that much of a difference maker that with the current squad, not talking about Messi, everybody else, Luis Suarez on this team, we would still be like, oh my God, we have the best player in the league and we should win the MLS Cup. Now you add the greatest player of all time. I understand why everybody's jealous of us. And I did want to...
We're not done yet.
No, and we're not done yet. And by the way, credits to Inter Miami. I really love the post with the 4 kids.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Inter Miami, whoever in the marketing and promotions department, the social media department, whatever. Whoever came up with that and saying in Spanish, I forgot what it exactly was, but it was basically it's nothing like playing with your friends. I said it in Spanish. Shout out to them. That was awesome. I really love that touch. And man, I'm so excited. Chris, any final thoughts?
I just want to mention that Joe Kerr says that my FIFA cards are way more over your college degrees.
My college degrees?
Yes. So kick rocks. Okay.
I mean, you're not still paying them back. So you were probably smarter than I was on that.
But other than that, yeah, man, this is going to be an entertaining season. I told my son about the signing. He's freaking ready. He is gassed. And we're ready to fucking rock and roll this year. Like, somebody asked if there's any other teams making any critical signings. I think Orlando picked up like a cast member from Disney World to play center back. So,
you're talking about the guy from Space Mountain? He works with Space Mountain?
Yeah.
And if anybody's wondering, we're recording this on December 22nd. So if you're watching this live or if you're watching this within the next hour before we switch over to December 23rd, there are 61 days until we kick off the season. If you're watching this on the December 23rd or after, there's 60 days and the countdown begins.
Yeah, and a few major points here. Suarez will be introduced on Media Day. I believe that's January 8th or February 7th or 8th.
Well, it should be January because the first preseason game's in 28 days.
So there you go. So he'll be presented the first couple weeks of January. I read that. Also a couple other notes. His oldest son, will be playing for the Inter Miami Academy. And I believe his younger son as well will be playing for the Inter Miami Academy. So that was a big, a big thing in getting him to sign here as well, because the Inter Miami Academies are doing well with the kids, huh? You got Messi's boys playing in there. You see him at the field every day. So those crowds for those young boys games are going to start getting big, huh? With the superstars there.
They're building.
How crazy is that? How
They're
crazy
forming
is that?
Voltron in every team for Inter Miami.
It's nuts, man. It's nuts. I mean, your son goes to play there. Imagine your son going to play there, and you look up, and Messi and Suarez are just, watching him play. Who would have thought that?
Danny, before you let the show go, I can't find the comment, but somebody mentioned something about the license plates. Guys, what the fuck are you doing if you don't have your damn license plate purchased? I want my shit already. Okay. But I just checked and we finally broke over 1,000 plates purchased. 1,003.
How many do you need?
We need 1,997 more. So guys,
you need to get to 3,000.
You need to get to 3,000. So guys, start buying it for Christmas. Like you can still buy it for other people that you know in your life. So just buy a bunch and fucking give the vouchers out. I mean, I think the person commented that like a senator, I guess okayed the license plates to be, I don't know, like approved. I need proof for that. I'm not just gonna take any rando news like that.
And then GFR, I'm just going based off of prior history. The new jerseys with new logos and everything usually drop in February. That's usually when they drop traditionally. Yeah. So I wouldn't expect it anytime before then.
Just an FYI, expect them to be wearing the La Noche jerseys a lot this season.
Oh yeah,
because remember the MLS changes jerseys every 2 seasons. So that was one of the reasons. That was one of the reasons why. And I think that they used the pink jersey last year for so many games was because they wanted the marketing and to sell more. And it was weird because, dude, Messi and Suarez in that La Noche jersey are gonna look fire, man. I mean, I haven't seen them yet, but oof, it's gonna be nice. I can't wait to be there opening night, boys.
Me too. I've that new jersey with the thing down the middle. I really hate that thing, man. Like I know that
said that about the Heat culture jerseys, but they're not that bad. Jerseys,
no, them things look ugly as hell. They're like a fucking
I saw them in person. They're not that bad. They're not that bad. So
yes, they are.
Look, I don't like this whole thing down the middle. It's weird to me, and the crest in the middle is just weird.
And I think that the pink, there's a new updated picture because this is the original crap that they showed us. And then this is the one that I cooked up to fix the pink a little bit like last year's. And then we saw another one that it looked like a brighter pink, which looked a little better than the salmon crap. But
that Royal Caribbean is.
But to me, no, it's too big. But
they should have just put Royal Caribbean across the top right there. Would have looked nicer, no?
No, just give me the crown. That's what I would have preferred, just the crown. I get that the sail means cruise and all that other stuff, but give me the crown. All right, no final thoughts. Well, this time for real, right? Because last time we said we weren't coming back until after Christmas, but we always said that whenever it was that Luis Suarez joined, we didn't care what day it was. It could have been Christmas Day itself. We were going to come on here and talk Luis Suarez. So it is now official. I am so excited. And now the countdown begins. 28 days till the first preseason game, 60 days until the season starts. So we're cooking with grease right now. When's the next time we come on here, Chris? We're not coming on Christmas Day on Monday, so I guess Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday would probably be it, yeah.
So we'll be back on Wednesday, December 27th. All right, so we'll be back on December 27th. I doubt anything new happens from here to then, so we'll figure some fun stuff to talk about. I'm sure we can figure something out. Solana, we appreciate you joining us. If you don't follow Solana already, follow him at Danny Solana 5. And I mean, plug anything else that you got going.
No, man, that's it. At Danny Solana 5 right now. We're, as I said in the past, I was on This Is Football. We're talking about coming back here in the new year, so be on the lookout. And we'll be doing that. I'm doing some Arriba Bolso stuff, and I'm starting to do some play-by-play on some soccer games. So I'll keep in touch on the Instagram or on Twitter, and you'll find out what I'm doing.
Yeah, and guys, if you want to get really pissed off at I'll give Solana some credit. Although some of the shit he says I find to be really stupid, he believes it. So I respect that. So, I mean, he doesn't say it just to be clickbaitish. He really believes the dumb shit that comes out of his mouth. Chris.
And guys, also, you can also catch him on the Battered Heat Fans podcast.
Yes.
So don't forget about that. If you like the Heat, because fucking who doesn't, I guess, here in Miami.
And even
whatever.
if you don't and you just hate me, just watch, because I say
Just
some
watch.
crazy shit on that too.
No, we're not with the Heat. You're a lot more.
Yeah, you're very good. Very informed.
I like your takes on the Heat. With soccer, your Uruguayan shows under your skirt, and I just can't take it sometimes.
If you guys love Heat culture, join us on the Battered Heat Fans podcast, and you'll be able to see Solana there. It's Inter Miami's favorite bad guy with us, and throw him some roses. Everybody had a fucking blast with you on here. So,
and Steve Munoz,
Absolutely.
if this is true, you let us know. We'll plug it for you because that sounds amazing. Cafecito
I
Sessions.
love that name, bro.
with Steve
Cafecito
Munoz.
Sessions.
Yeah, so go for it. Do it, and we'll plug it, and we'll help you out because that sounds awesome.
yes,
All right. If you are listening on audio, thank you for listening all the way to the end. Please leave 5 stars, comment, review. If you're watching on YouTube and you just want to help us out a little bit, jump on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and go ahead and just leave a comment just to help us out. Just follow us. And then on YouTube, please like, subscribe, tell your friends, subscribe. And we're going to keep putting out this content because we love Inter Miami. This is our number one love. You know, some other people, it's their 2 or 3. This is our number one. So we're going to keep doing this just because we love it. And again, as always, for those of you that joined us on the chat, you guys are the best part of the show. We appreciate each and every one of you coming out here, having fun with us, talking with us. And until the next one, have a good one.